Well, let's take a look at Group E because we could see a big name go out of the Champions League here. Bayern Munich taking on Barcelona, who are at big risk. Certainly, they haven't had the greatest season so far. In fact, they haven't had the greatest sort of last 18 months. Huge financial issues. Their team is now full of young players. That maybe is the future at the camp now. They're taking on one of the favourites for the Champions League in the shape of Bayern Munich, with their chances of reaching the Champions League knockout stages hanging in the balance. They will be in the Europa League, but I think it's going to be very difficult for them to go through. What do you think, James?
I think them going out is the best chance of a trophy for Barcelona this season, because the Europa League is probably, that's the chance that they've got, especially with the young group of players, as you said. Xavi's come in, and it's interesting. I think we all kind of thought he might be a bit more free-flowing. I think you've seen that intensity, you've seen the passing, that desire to be on the ball, but also word coming out of a lot of discipline. I think he feels like it's been a bit loose at Barcelona over the last few years, and he's apparently came in with 10 rules to kick off his tenure as manager. And it's interesting, isn't it? I think sometimes you feel like these heroes will come back, wave a magic wand, and things will get better. But I think there's going to be some severe bumps and bruises along the way, starting this week with this game, because I don't see how they make it through. I don't see how they get even a point against Bayern Munich in this game. Lost 3-0 in round one, of course, of the Champions League. Have recovered somewhat in the last few games and should be pleased with that. But too many draws in the Champions League so far, struggling to score goals. I just can't see if any way that they get anywhere near Bayern Munich in this game. Because if you look at Bayern Munich, that's a team. That is a squad. Those players are elite, and in those elite years as well. And I think this is a very undercooked Barcelona side right now, which is missing that power that's needed both in the transfer market and just generally in the side itself. It's at the end of its cycle or at the start of a brand new one. So I don't see them getting anywhere near. Is there any way you can kind of give them a chance, or give Barcelona fans some hope after I've just ripped them?
Not massively. I can give them some long-term hope, not necessarily for this game. We've got one high-profile example in England. There's no transfer embargo per se at Barcelona, but they're really restricted in terms of bringing in those huge, big-name players that we expect them to sign in years gone by. But what happened at Chelsea in the Premier League was when they had a transfer embargo, we saw the likes of Mason Mount and Reece James come through, Fikayo Tomori, who's now playing in Italy, Tammy Abraham, Callum Hudson-Odoi, and more, and I think Chelsea have now, they've really grasped the future of their club with those young players who have come out of the academy. And I'm just saying that I think when it comes to Barcelona, that could be their future too. We know in decades gone by, La Masia has produced so many superb players who have come into the first team and played a huge role. But actually, I think this could prove to be the core of their squad for the next decade. These young players that we're seeing coming through the academy now, because they need them at this point in time. They need to reduce the wage bill. They need to stop spending. And the best thing about it is, firstly, they have a club legend to lead them, who was an exquisite midfielder, who knows about the club and knows exactly what the expectations are. You mentioned it with those rules. But I think in terms of his inspiration, that will be superb leadership. But I also think they're extremely talented players. I mean, we wouldn't have seen most of these players if it weren't for these issues that Barcelona are having. But so many of them are really quality players. I've actually been taken aback. I thought, the results might fall off a cliff. Yes, of course, they're inconsistent. They are young players. You would expect that from them. But there's a lot of talent there too. I just think a game of this magnitude comes too soon for most of them.
Yeah, I think the fact that it's one of those, isn't it? Time will tell, but there has to be question marks when you're having to use so many of these youngsters, because it feels, incredibly fortunate or otherwise coincidental that these players are getting put in the side now. I think you make a really good point there in terms of the long-term success of Barcelona. They have to go towards this route of youth because they don't have the finances that they've had previously. So the Europa League could be a huge blessing in disguise, because there could be, that element of confidence, scoring goals. I think we've seen that with other clubs over the years, where they get to have that Thursday where they put 5 past the side, which they're not really doing in La Liga so far this season. Good win against Villarreal recently, but a disappointing defeat at the weekend again. So for all those players, in terms of getting that game time, getting those minutes and European football as well, I do think it will be a blessing in disguise for them if they do.
It's not just the players as well, James. It's not just the players. It's the manager as well, who is not vastly experienced. But you go to those European nights in the Europa League and you're slightly revered. You're one of the big teams in the competition now. And it wouldn't be the case in the knockout stages of the Champions League for Barcelona. No one's scared of them in this Champions League. They hold no fear for most clubs. So in that regard, I also think it would be good for him too to get that experience of playing European football in the Europa League.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great point. And, you had the fact that, win a trophy in your first 12 months. That'd be nice. I know it's not the ones that you deep down want, but it is a trophy. And I think that adds to the credibility, the mystique, the romanticism and the hope for the fans and the club itself. One little thing that makes this one a bit different, the game, is going to be with no fans at Bayern Munich because of the COVID situation in Bavaria at the moment. Do you think that might help in any way? Because I think we both agree, not a miracle, but they need it to work out for them in a big way against a very good Bayern Munich side. Of course, won their Klassiker at the weekend as well. But having no fans there in an away tie, do you think that will help?
It's not just having no fans. I think it might help them in the regard that the fans motivate the players. They take them to another level. Now, when you're top of the group already, you've qualified top, you don't have to get any result from the game. You're just playing the 90 minutes to see through the group stage. In the case of Bayern Munich, yes, they want 6 wins from 6, but I think it takes the pressure off them massively. It takes the motivation away from them massively. I'm not questioning them as professionals. What I'm saying is clearly there's a huge motivation for Barcelona on the night because they need to get something to go through to the knockout stages. There isn't a huge motivation for Bayern Munich. The fans usually take you through. They come in the tens of thousands. They expect you to put in a performance and they might raise your game. It might be a leveler that there are no fans there. It might help Barcelona in that regard because Bayern Munich, like I say, they don't feel that pressure going into this game to get something. So yeah, I agree. It could definitely help Barcelona.
Yeah, I mean, look, the romantic in me would love to see Xavi get this kind of victory, get the club going, get them excited. As we said a couple of times now, I just cannot see it happening. This Bayern Munich side is fit, it's firing, and it's pretty special, and is one of the favourites to go the whole way. So for me, they're going to be playing Europa League football in the new year. I think Bayern Munich win this. Yes, Barcelona might get themselves a goal, might sneak a goal, but overall, I can't see how Bayern Munich don't score at least 2 goals in this game and win the game itself. What do you think, Hugh?
Listen, I'm going to keep a closer eye on Benfica against Dinamo Kiev, right? Because they need to win that game. I think they can certainly win that game. They're the better side. But you never know with these Champions League games. You never really know in a fixture like that. Benfica against Kiev, which could be a bit of a leveler. Kiev has played quite well in some of the games that they haven't got something out of. So they're 1 point in the group so far. Not really a reflection on how they've played. But I think Benfica will win. Barcelona could get a point. No, I think Bayern are going to win. Benfica win as well. Barcelona in the Europa League.
Hi guys, James Alcott here from ESPN's Football Forecast. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed the video and you want to check out more, make sure you subscribe to ESPN UK.